That will get us into 30s tonight, so it's going to get a little frosty, but it's still a comfortable afternoon here ahead of us. There's our sunshine making an appearance after the 2 o'clock hour, so as the kids are getting out of school, should finally start to see some of that, and then temperatures will cool quickly into the 30s. As we get into the day tomorrow, still looking nice. Light winds, more sunshine, a little bit more warmth too. I think afternoon thermometers readings will be topping out in the mid to upper 80s. Hurricane Rafael churning here south of Cuba. It will make landfall a little bit later today. It's a Category 2 hurricane. I'm pointing this out because this is of interest to us here in the Quad Cities. If you watch where this storm is going to track as we head into the next several days, it moves west. And any storm that moves west or northwest is eventually a source of moisture that we're going to see here in the Quad Cities. It's kind of hard to see the timing because there's so many of them stacked on each other with it not moving much. But by the time we get to the end of the weekend, we're somewhere here in the Gulf of Mexico, anywhere from New Orleans all the way to West Texas and Mexico itself. So it is something to track, and that moisture arrives here as we get into next week. And I'll show you that with both our 8 and our 14 day next.
Act fast. It's an extreme internet deal. Low prices, high speeds, and big bonuses. Switch now and get Internet 250 for $19.99 a month for a year. Experience download speeds up to 250 meg. Plus, get our advanced Wi-Fi with Secure, free for a year. A free Zumo Stream Box for all your entertainment needs. And a $100 Amazon.com gift card. Level up your internet. Hurry, call 844-EXTREME2 to save.
I really love Friday. That's going to be gorgeous. Low 60s and sunshine. We still have some showers to track into the weekend on Saturday. Those will be later in the day. Totally dry Sunday, so that's your weekend's best thus far. More 60s next week. And then Rafael. Do I have my 14-day in here? Did I not put it in that? I'm going to have to show you on last weather. I ask Andrew live when that happens. I got to move some stuff around. But I promise you the 14-day is looking pretty good in terms of both temperatures and rainfall. I'll show you that before we head out this morning.
Told you, he loves racking up those coins for asking to live. That's all it is.
I'm just trying to pull in more viewers for that, you know?
As you should.
That's right. We'll work him on Friday, too, the day he loves. All right, thank you.
Still ahead, plant and garden expert Craig Hignight is on the patio with us. Head to the WQAD Facebook page right now and get your questions ready. He's going to answer all of them coming up next.
time that is. It's for Plants and Gardens Expert Time with Craig Hignight. And I know you love our wardrobe, right?
Oh, yeah.
The extra layers?
Next week it's a parka.
Oh,
You must be so chilly out here.
oh,
Freezing.
Midwest living, right?
Yeah.
That's it. If you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. It'll change.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, time is ticking. Okay, let's get to our first question. What are the black spots on an aloe vera plant?
Okay, this is probably caused by a little bit too much water. You might want to cut back just a little bit and make sure that you're draining the excess that collects under it when you water.
All right. So then when is the best time to divide daffodils?
Daffodils right now. Now would be the time to dig up those old clumps that are giving you a lot of leaves and not many flowers. Separate the bulbs out. You're probably going to find literally dozens of them in that clump. Pick out the best ones. They get replanted. Probably the nose of the bulb, the pointy end of the bulb, should be about 10 inches below ground level, and space them out about 6 inches apart in odd numbered clumps, 3, 5, 7, and just randomly place them. Don't do them in rows. Your bed looks a lot more full if people can't sight down the row when they're looking at the flowers.
This one says, when can I cut back my knockout rose bush? It still has flowers on it.
Enjoy the flowers out through Thanksgiving. We aren't going to cut that rose bush back until after Thanksgiving, around the 1st of December, when the ground finally cools down. Remember, the air might be chilly right now, but the ground is still warm and that plant is still growing. So hold off a month until you cut back the knockout roses.
Lisa wants to know, can you use fertilizer with mosquito dunk? Is that mosquito
dunk?
Okay.
Mosquito dunk, you use that to get rid of the fungus gnat larvae in the pot. And fertilizer and mosquito dunks are compatible. They can be put on in the same solution.
What arborvitae would grow?
Arborvitae.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Would grow to about 12 feet and provide privacy.
Oh, any of the arborvitae should get to 12 feet. There aren't any really good dwarf arborvitaes. Look at the big guys over our shoulders here. And, you know, just find a good, solid green plant when you're ready to put it in the ground.
Okay, Andrea wants to know, so she has a cyclamen, a cyclamen that she's had since last Easter. It looks great with nice green leaves now. Should she repot it?
No, not now. We're getting ready to set bud on the cyclamen. We've just got the very first colors on our cyclamen at work. And right now, you will go ahead and fertilize it, up until Thanksgiving, and then you cut the fertilizer out. If you could kind of set it off into a cool bedroom, it would really appreciate that, and it should give you plenty of bloom through the rest of the winter. This is a natural winter blooming flower.
Can you plant mums now?
You can plant mums now, but you're going to keep your fingers crossed. They aren't going to have much time to get roots out, but with mums, so often it's sighting as much as anything else, and we're going to hope that they make it through the winter.
All right, Nick says that they have about 12 rose bushes that did amazing and are still bloomed and 4 feet tall. Wants to know, when should they prune them and put more mulch around them?
Well, you will prune them, like I said, out around after Thanksgiving, and in the fall, we take our rose bushes down to about 18 inches above the ground. Then we mound them up with just inexpensive hardwood mulch. That keeps the wind from moving them during the winter, and it protects the crown. If we really get a nasty winter, then next spring we reprune them down to about 10 or 12 inches above the ground.
Why did the bottom leaves on my mother of thousands die?
Usually, it's not uncommon if a plant gets to a certain height that it starts putting on a new leaf at the top, dropping a leaf at the bottom, put a new leaf on top, drop a leaf at the bottom. So this is not uncommon. You might want to go ahead and give this a pruning. I would wait until next spring when the days are getting longer instead of shorter to force the best new growth on this plant.
I want to divide my peonies. Is it too late, and how deep do I plant the ones I am moving?
No, this is exactly the perfect time for digging and dividing peonies. And what you do when you're replanting, you brush away the dirt at the top of the crown that you've dug up, and you'll find these great big buds that are next year's growth. And you put a board across your hole that you're putting it in and put those buds right up against the bottom of the board, fill in, You want to keep those buds within about 2 inches of the surface of the soil, or they go blind. They grow, but they don't bloom well. So keep those buds right below the surface of the soil when you're replanting peonies.
All right, well, we're planning to answer more questions in just a bit. Continue to send them in on our WQAD Facebook page right now, and we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back, and thanks for continuing to send us all of your questions on our Facebook page. We're going to start with a question about rhododendrons. So Jerry wants to know, when is the best time to cut back rhododendrons?
Okay, rhododendrons get cut back after they get done blooming next spring. Now remember, if you cut into wood on a rhododendron that does not have leaves on it, that wood is not going to branch out again. So I'm hoping, if you need to cut it back, that you've got some growth down around the bottom of the plant that will go ahead and fill back in. Remember, you should always leave at least 4 leaves on each stem when you cut a rhododendron back.
I have a huge patch of lily of the valley that I want to dramatically downsize and move somewhere else. When is the best time to do this?
I would do that in the spring when the lily of the valley is only about 2 inches tall. It's a tough little devil. Just dig it up in nice clumps and move it to where you want it. Thin out the patch you've got. Believe me, it's going to fill back in. This is an extremely vigorous grower.
Sally asks, what's the best way to prepare hostas for winter?
Hostas, you don't have to do anything actually. I know we've got people that like those beds nice and clean, so once we've had a killing frost, you can clean them down right to the ground. Hostas are perfectly hardy in this area, and by getting rid of the leaves, you're going to get rid of any possibility of disease carrying over from this year to next year.
Can I cut back spirit bushes now?
What kind?
S-P-I-R-E.
Spirea.
All right.
Okay, spirea bushes should be pruned in the spring. I had spirea when I still had the house, and I took them down to about 10 inches every spring. That keeps them nice and short and bushy. If you don't cut them back at least every few years, they get tall and leggy. You've got a lot of blooms and leaves up here, and their legs are showing down at the ground.
AJ says, I cut back my elephant ears and they sprouted again. Should I let them freeze before digging them up?
Well, you don't let them freeze. You go ahead, take those tops, or if you've gotten rid of the tops, lay something on the plant right now. Protect it just a little bit, but you're going to let it go ahead and cool down in the ground for at least the next 10, maybe 14 days. Watch the weather. if it's going to actually get a hard freeze in the ground, they have to be dug up. But right now, you want the ground to cool down around them so they do stop growing when you dig them up.
My lilies have taken over my flower bed. Suggestions on how to cut them back, please.
Well, lilies, if they've spread that much, this is exactly the time of the year that you go ahead and dig, divide, and replant. Maybe you could dig and reset the biggest bulbs. Give the little bulbs away to somebody else, or they go in the compost pile. But now is the perfect time to dig and reset lilies.
All right, we have another question about arborvitae trees. So what can we do to help our arborvitae trees that are turning brown?
Okay, this could be because we had an extremely dry summer. Make sure you stay on top of your watering for the next month. We don't stop watering just because the ground has gotten cold. And we, at least over in Rock Island where I live, we've only had maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain in the last week. So we keep that hose going about every 14 days right up until early December so that they're fully hydrated when the ground finally freezes this winter.
All right, Sue in Coe Valley asks, first time having a banana tree, which way is better to winterize it, bring it inside or leave it in the ground?
Oh, don't leave it in the ground. It won't be there next spring, that's for sure, unless it's a Bijou. That one is hardy in this area. But yes, you need to bring it in. I had a friend, he had lots of bananas. He would dig them up with a nice clump of soil, cut the leaves off the top, leave all that leaf stem behind, and then he just stacked them in the garage like cordwood. Nobody opened that garage during the winter and let them freeze. And next spring, he put them back out in the ground. It took about 3 years, and they would start making fruit on about the 3rd year.
Wow, I didn't even know we could have banana trees out here in the Midwest.
Oh, time to eat.
Right. Okay, Doug from Rock Island asks, can we still put down fall fertilizer on the grass, or is it too late?
Boy, we're right on the cusp. I would have liked to see it go down about Halloween, but go for it. If you've got it, use it. The ground is still warm. The grass isn't growing in the green blades, but the roots and rhizomes are growing because of all the heat that the ground has collected this summer, and this is the best time of the year to put on fertilizer. It does more for your lawn than any of the other fertilizings.
What can you use to prevent suckers from regrowing on branches on fruit trees?
Okay, there is a product called Sucker Punch. And what you do, you go ahead and cut those water sprouts, errant branches off. You spray the Sucker Punch on them, and they will not grow for 1 year. It gets it down to a 1-year pruning to keep the suckers under control.
All right. Thank you so much, Craig, as always, for coming in. And we'll see you next Wednesday here on our WQAD Facebook page. GMQC at 11. We'll be right back.